Hey guys, so today for the 30 subscriber special, I'm going to be showing you guys my favorite widget in Flutter, which is the Listview.builder. So here, let's uncomment that, and right now we're in the player results, basically the page, which sits right here in the current results page. So right now it's just rendering a center widget with the child of text that says current results. And as you can see, it says current results. So we're going to be replacing that with the new Listview.builder. And let's just make a random list to hold just arbitrary values that we can show what the list view does. So let's item count, which takes in the length of the list. So what the Listview.builder widget does is basically it takes in a list, and then for each element in that list, it renders a widget on the page. macOS Big Sur is okay. So for this Listview.builder, we can see that for the body of the scaffold, the item count, which it's just a setting where you have to like set how many like elements there are. So in this example, it's gonna be how many elements are in the list, temp, which is 1 and 2, which is 2. And then for the item builder, that's for like each, like what it's gonna render for each element of that list. So for each element, there's going to be an index, and this is just some like filler thing that you don't really have to know. But so for each thing, we're going to render a new text with the string that the text says is going to be the index of that temp list. So let's see it right here. So by the way, don't worry about these. It's just some like compatibility issue I have because I upgraded to macOS Big Sur. And yeah, so let's see it in action. Hold up, let's go back to that page and see. You can't really see, but see 1 and 2. So what we're going to be doing here, I'll try to make that more hold up, I'll try to make that more visible. Container. So I'm going to render a container, then I'm going to set the padding, which is like how much padding there is on all sides, to 16. And then I'm going to change the font size to 32. And there we go, 1 and 2. So for the list temp, it's rendering 1 and 2, the strings. So what we're going to be doing is for my for PodiPlay, which is an app that is for like tournament building that I'm making for Gabe's Uncle Tom. Shout out Gabe Photographs, shout out Tom Photographs. And for each player, which is a list, an array is just the same thing as a list. So for each array, so for each element of the array, which is a map with a bunch of more layers, I'm going to render widgets where you can see the like each player's like game history. So for Tom, say versus is a game history. So against Joe, he played badminton and the score was 45-13. He didn't play paddle tennis and he played tennis and he lost 45-13. This is all just test data, by the way, for debugging and stuff. And yeah, and against Phil, it's just the same thing. Badminton, he didn't play. For paddle tennis, he didn't play. Tennis, he didn't play. So for Phil, you wouldn't see anything. And yeah, that's the same thing for Joe and Phil too. Okay, so first what we're going to have to do is pass the data on to that page so we can utilize that data. So since what was I going to do? Oh yeah, the profile. So home profile players. So we're going to be passing in that same snapshot.data this players into the navigation widget, which is right here. So we're going to put that in the left jar widget, which is this. We're going to have to make another parameter thing, and that's going to be a list. And then players, and then we're going to have to do the same thing for the menu list tile widget, which is going to be widget.players. And since menu list tile widget, that is the nav list, we're going to have to make another parameter, players, this dot players. And then yeah, there we passed all the data onto the navigation list page, and then we're going to pass that data on to the player results page, which we're going to have to make a widget for. So final list players, we're going to create a constructor, just autofill that, and then players, that's going to be widget.players. Okay, so we passed on the data. So if we render this widget, it's going to have all this data, but it's not being used. So let's do this. Let's just render, let's get rid of this temp list, and then replace that with the widget.players list. Widget, what? Oh yeah. So players.length. So this item count is taking in this parameter. So for the text, we're just going to render that toString. So it's just going to look a little weird. Oh, we got an error. The getter length was called on no. Oh, we have to reset the whole program because before we were on that page and the data wasn't there. So right now the data is at home. And then we're going to pass it on to the current results page, and there, boom, we have it. So we have all this data for each player in the tournament. So, and it obviously it looks very weird, but we can transform this into something the user would want to see. So for each player, so for each entry of for each entry of players, so I'll just render the name. So since the index, it indicates which index, so 0, 1, or 2, which index player that we want to access. We're going to, for each one, we're going to access their index, and then say we want to get their name. Let's just do that. There we go. So we're going into the index, and then we're taking out the name. So we have Tom, Joe, and Phil. There we go. And then, okay, so that's the power of the Listview.builder. So we're going to, for each of these players, we're going to go into the verses, and then we're going to get the history, the versus history. And for that, we're just going to, here, which side? How should I do it? Here, hold up, I'll get back to you. Hey guys, I'm back, and I figured out what to do to... Hey guys, I'm back, and I figured out how I wanted everything to look. So here is the main page. Here, let me go back. This is the home page, where this would be where the message board would be, and then we go to the current results, and then see we have the Listview.builder. It's already built. So yeah, I wrote a lot of code off screen, but that was because it kind of took me a while to figure out how I wanted everything to look, or how I wanted to like traverse the data tree and like get all the data where I wanted. So to do this, since unlike the record match, here, I'll just show you. So when you go to record a match, you have the people that you're playing against, and then you go to a different page, and then you have your record with this player, where it says you need to play this sport, you need to play this sport, if you haven't. But since it's in different pages, it's easy to like transfer data from one page to another. But since this is all in one page and it's all pre-built, I used a future builder, yeah. For each list, for each entry of the list, there's going to be a future builder where you put in the initial list, and then you get like, you extract like another layer of data, and then you extract another one. So yeah, that's why I did that. And here's how it looks so far. So as you can see, it's not that pretty. I didn't style it at all. I just put all the data in. So for Tom versus Joe and Phil, you have all the data. So for Tom, he played Joe in tennis, and then it has the score and everything. And badminton, he played Tom, and then there's a score. And then since he didn't play paddle tennis, it says you need to play the sport. And that is oh, shout out virtual mids. I was scoping your profile. And yeah, that's correct according to the database, where it says the entry Tom, we have that, and then versus Joe, badminton and tennis is played, and here badminton and tennis is played. So yeah, so basically I have all the data that I need. And it's the same thing for Joe, where it's Phil and then Tom, it has the same thing. And then since Phil hasn't played anyone in any of the sports, he doesn't have anything. But yeah, so all the data is there. I just need to make it look pretty, and we're going to be doing that together because I'm better at that, at like UI kind of stuff, and it doesn't really take that long for me to do that. So okay, so we ran into a little issue with the storage, but it shouldn't be. Oh, by the way, I want to give a quick shout out to Dev Cleaner. It's a really good tool to clear up all your cached files, because all your cached files could take up a really big amount of space on your your disk, which is not good, and you don't really need it. Yeah, so get this if you're running into storage problems. But yeah, okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, so here I didn't use player history widget, so let me just delete that file, and then player results. So instead of using sport record widget, I'm going to do, shoot, I should have just used that. Let's just do player results. Oh shoot. Delete. Okay, I kind of messed up there a little. Player results sport record widget. Just kind of a very long name. I don't really recommend it, but I don't really know what to name it, and I don't really care about like how it looks like. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna copy and paste that, and instead of player results sport widget, I'm just gonna name it that. When you're coding, you're going to want to use clear names to name everything, because it can get kind of confusing when you have hundreds and hundreds of widgets layered within each other and you don't know which one does which. Okay, so there. So we have that. There. Okay, so for the expandable panels, I'm going to get rid of the icon. So there. Yeah, yep, got rid of them. And then for the expandables, the text, I'm going to wrap that in a container. Yeah, and give it some padding. And then I'm gonna style the text. style, and then font weight, I'm gonna give it a bold, and then size, I'm going to give it about 20. There, Tom, Joe, and then yeah, there we go. And then left, I'm going to bump it up to 32. Then what's 32 plus 16? That's 48. Let's do that. So if there's indents, yep, there we go. Okay. Tom. Okay, so versus index. Okay, so I'm going to style this, and then I'm gonna give it a color of red, just because it's. And then I'm going to wrap this in quotes, and then do an inline variable usage, which is very handy. Do that. And there we go. First, Joe. Okay, so we're gonna make that blue. So we're gonna make that blue. So we're gonna do verse fill, and then I'm going to change that size to score. I wonder why that's so big. Oh, okay. I'm gonna change that back to 15, and then change that to 20, and then I'm going to make that 25. Then there we go. So Tom, 25. Tom versus Joe. Okay, yeah, that kind of looks a little weird, so I'm going to change that. Tennis. So when it's tennis, I'm going to need to play the sport. Paddle tennis. Play results. Oh, okay. So for this, we're going to change that. We're going to give this a border decoration. Oh wait. Okay, yeah. Box. Okay, so box decoration is what you use to decorate boxes. To the name. So we're going to give it a border radius dot all, and then radius dot circular, and then we're gonna make that 25, and make the background colors dot. Let's just make it gray. There. Okay, that looks a little clustered, but I don't know how I feel about that. That looks kind of weird. Let's ditch the box decorations and just use dividers, honestly. So tennis, it's gonna be let's make it bold, and then give it a font size of 18. So tennis, okay, there we go. And then I'm going to change this to a column where I can put divider underneath it. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to give this a cross-axis alignment. of start. Okay, there we go. And then for the sport card widget, I'm going to I'm gonna give it less padding. Just 5. 5 is enough. And then if you see this, oh wow, that does not look that good. First Joe, tennis, badminton, paddle tennis. I wonder why there's such a big... Oh, okay. That's why. Let's just do only and then bottom. So let's only give the padding on the bottom, which will make... Oh wait, that looks kind of... Okay. Oh, okay. So I need to give a padding on the card. Yeah, there we go. Score. Change that to 16. Tennis, badminton, paddle tennis, and then first Joe, and then here. Let's do that. How about spider? There. Oh wait, that looks kind of weird. Let's bump that up to 20. Oh, okay. So we need to give the padding to the case where we haven't played the sport yet too. And yeah, that kind of looks a little better. Yeah, that looks a little better. I'm probably going to touch it up more, but it works for now. So since it's just a name, let's give it a top part. Where here? Hold up. Builder. Wait, what are we gonna do? Here, let's do this. Column. Children. Then let's stuff the Listview.builder into the column. And then explain what's going on. So we could say these are the current standings. And then put a divider, 2, and then style it, the align text align dot center, and then style it. So we're going to give it a font style of 12. I should say 20. And then yeah, let's see how it looks. Hold up, what went wrong? Has size, render box not laid out. Oh, shoot. Okay, then yeah, let's not do that. Let's just... I forgot, things get a little wacky when you use the Listview.builder in terms of sizing, and I don't really know the best way to tackle that right now, so I'm just gonna leave that. I'll just give it a title. and be like current standings. And yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that's basically it. So you guys learned the how useful Listview.builder is, and I hope you guys took something away from this today. Thank you.